Hello again. Almost day by day, London slipped further into a nightmare morass of degeneracy and violence, fueled by uncontrolled immigration. And yet, still, some incidents in this grotesque carnival have the capacity to shock us and make us ask what on earth is going on. Almost as disturbing is the reaction of the traditional media to such things, because they always manage to make it seem that we, the ordinary English people, are to blame for whatever mad situation has erupted. The most recent example of just how dreadful London has become and how newspapers and broadcasters try to hint that we are to blame for what is going on may be seen in what happened the day before yesterday on a tube train between Upton Park and East Ham in London. This was once the heart of white working class London, an area where people behaved like normal human beings, and if you simply minded your own business and kept yourself to yourself, everything would be fine. These days, that part of London has become pretty multicultural, of course, and not all the cultures and customs which have been imported seem to sit well with traditional London life. At 3 o'clock in the afternoon on Thursday, a District Line train was travelling between Upton Park and East Ham. It was full of ordinary, normal people, including families with children. A black man pulled down his trousers and, according to some, looked as though he might be planning to shit on the floor. At any rate, he was naked from the waist down in front of children, and this was enough to prompt some of the male passengers to remonstrate with him, and he responded by swearing violently at them. I've seen clip of film of this incident. English is not his first language, evidently. I might mention here that defecating in public is a common practice in some countries and is starting to happen here to such an extent in London that one sees signs warning against doing so in parks and open spaces. This is one of the reasons that I mention the absolute state of London in the title of this video. Some of the male passengers travelling with their children grew angry, and the result was that the man was knocked about a bit and bundled off the train at the next stop, which was East Ham. He was then detained while the police were called. So far, this is just another of those incidents which shows how London is declining into chaos and squalor. I found the reporting of this business quite fascinating, though. In the description to this video, I give a link to the My London website, the news site operated by the publishers of the Daily Mirror. The headline to the report on this reads as follows: Half-naked man in mental health crisis beaten by London Underground passengers. Hmm, who do you suppose is the villain of the piece here? The man with mental health problems or those dreadful thugs who beat him up? Listen to the first paragraph of the article. A man in a mental health crisis was beaten by members of the public on the London Underground yesterday. The British Transport Police have said it is investigating after a video showing the shocking incident circulated on social media. What is shocking, you see, is not a man taking down his trousers in public, probably with a view to defecating in a train, but rather that of other passengers who should have objected and put a stop to the behaviour. He's been taken off to the loony bin, apparently, and the police are investigating. And I wouldn't be surprised to hear that some of those public spirited passengers end up being arrested. I cannot help but observe that being mad seems to affect foreigners and immigrants in rather different ways than it does the native population of this country. In England, it causes depression, sometimes self-harm in people. But for foreigners, it apparently makes them go on stabbing sprees, bar bombs, or drop their trousers along crowded tube trains.